All right, so today I was driving into the Kroger's parking lot after going for my afternoon cardio, and I thought to myself, isn't life the worst video game that you've ever played? For most of us, we get to spend it in single player mode. We get to play it in veteran mode, where if you get hit by a needle on your toe, you die. And there's no way that you can beat the boss fight that happens every morning at 8 a.m. It's like Fleece's face flashes on your screen nonstop. And that's just the beginning. The worst part is it just doesn't get any better. You think a video game you'd get used to all of the times that you just fall off the map and then it's over, right? But no, you wake up every day and it's the same damn thing again. Everything costs too much. No one likes you. Your boss thinks it's a joke that you keep showing up. And the reality of things is that no matter how many years you do the same crappy job at McDonald's, you're never going to get ahead. And the only motivation comes through the form of electrodes that get attached to your nether regions every morning. But are you happy? No. Is there a way of changing the game? No. It's like playing on a Nintendo where the cartridge is stuck inside, and every day you hit the power button and it's the same ominous look on the same people's faces. And it's not just work or your house, it's just walking around. I was at Walmart today, and the people looking at you are just like, oh, why are you shopping at Walmart? Are you poor too? We're all poor. Anyone that has the illusion that they have money isn't living in my part of town. You're living somewhere else in a nice house, maybe a gated community, in a place where you don't feel inflation. You look at poor people as cockroaches that keep multiplying because they don't know what causes children to happen. It's like my fish tank. Every time I turn around, there's more children that I got to get rid of. And that's really what parents really want to do to their adult children. They don't want to support them into their 30s and 40s, but they also don't want to see them on the street. This morning I had to go pick up a package at the post office, and I was driving out of it. There was a guy just in his underwear with a dog sitting by the post office, and I sent a picture of that to Blue this morning, and I said, this is what the American dream is trying to turn us all into. That guy. But without further ado, let's get into today's opening monologue. Nobody tells you growing up means logging to life alone every day, broke, burnt out, and begging for Wi-Fi. It's just you, the bills, and a fridge with one egg in it. Welcome to America's new game mode, single player. The co-op dream is dead. You don't build a future here, you survive a loop. That's exactly how I felt. The game would have so many different levels if you could just access the things that you actually like maybe some skins that you like, or maybe a house like uh, what's that game called? Oh my gosh, I can't remember this game. What's that game? The game where you get to the oh my gosh, I'm going to remember this like the second I get done with this video game. But it's that, oh my gosh, I hate when I get these brain farts. And I've had these brain farts get worse with COVID. I mean, not only did I lose my sense of taste, but memory. Oh, that's what it is. GTA 5. I don't know. I got that game for free on Epic, and I never really got into it. But at least make life like that, where you get to have an imaginary place where you go to and you can relax for a few minutes. But no, life always has to be hard. And the harder it is, the less you want to play. But unfortunately, the only way out of it is you know what? And we're not allowed to talk about it here because, as I was telling Blue this morning, one of her favorite YouTubers got demonetized this morning, and she sent me a link to the guy's channel. And the guy's very similar to me. He posts about reality, except he reuses clips. And if you want to get demoralized, we're already demoralized, demonetized on YouTube, all you have to do is start reusing other people's content. The algorithm realizes that you're not generating real content, and it will come after you and it will murk you because They want videos out here that are of the highest quality because remember, they use your content to make money. So they'll give you a couple pennies, but at the end of the day, if you're not making money and you're wasting space, you may be considered for the ultimate middle finger out here because this place isn't good. It's just a place where you can reach a lot of people. But I'm looking at a recommendation for a video right now. I know completely off on a tangent here, but the title of the video is called "The Solo Man's Revolution: Why Men Are Choosing Happiness Alone." Well, again, we're not choosing not to have relationships, just like we're not choosing to eat meat. It's the fact that it's kind of been forced on us. I think I might have passed a couple hundred people in all the different places I had to go to because last night, as I mentioned earlier, I cut a cable while I was setting up my new water filter, and I swear to God, guys, this cable is so difficult to find that I finally had to give up. I went to so many different places and everybody told me to go to the same place and no one had this cable. So I have to box it up and send it back to Amazon because I can't use it. But during that time, I passed a few people where you look at them, they kind of smile at you and then you wonder, it's like, is that the smile? Is that the last smile you're going to see while you're hanging in someone's basement? That's what I always think of the internet and everyone that's on the internet is that the person that's finally going to put me in their basement and tell me to put the lotion on the skin? Who knows? My coworkers tell me that's going to happen to me if I stay on YouTube all the time. Talking point number one. You don't get extra lives, you just get extra bills, and every level looks exactly like the last one, only darker. This is what I say about my job, all jobs, working at McDonald's, wherever you work. Every day you show up at a job where you have no idea where you're going to be, in the basement, on the roof, in a server room, in a room fixing a projector 20 feet in the air, whether or not someone's going to call you because they have no idea what they're doing. It is a really strange world in which we expect people to excel in so many different levels. You have jobs that almost make it impossible to survive there if you don't have soft skills. And let me tell you this, not everyone has soft skills. Gen Z is notorious for not being good at being personable. They're the generation that's grown up as antisocial. So when they get into a corporation and they look around and they want work-life balance, which I've heard from so many different people over the years, and I think to myself, are you kidding me? Work-life balance in this job economy? This job economy is a horror game. And guess what? You're the guy who ends up with a peach with ketchup coming out of it. That was actually when I was designing this video game today with ChatGPT. That's what I wanted the end screen to be of this video game of life. At the end of the game, that's all you see is a giant orange peach with ketchup coming out of it and Fleece smiling ominously in the background. That's what I was thinking for the end of the video game of life, because that's what it feels like. At the end of the day, you didn't make enough money to pay your bills. You're going to have to find another job on top of your current job. And no matter how much you work, the system isn't designed to let you get ahead. Because every time the minimum wage goes up, somehow your landlord figures you have more money to give him. So they keep raising the rent. As I've said before, rent's always 100 times, 100 hours of minimum wage work at the bare. So if you look at it that way, no matter how much you make, it will never be enough hours. And you have come to the conclusion that that has to be true, right? Because otherwise, you would be doing a lot better. You would be closer to paying off your car. You could actually afford to buy a home in a decent neighborhood. You could afford to buy that relationship that you really want with that person who won't look at you because they laugh at your paycheck, also the size of your manhood. So the lonely man or the solo man isn't a byproduct of this current economy or the world that we live in. It's the default position of most men. And it's sad because most men don't want that. If you ask Gen Z, what's one thing that they really want? It's a family. But guess what Gen Z can afford? The single man. So you're stuck. Talking point number two: no money, no honey, no purpose. Just waking up every day to hit continue on the same sad mission. They call it surviving. It feels more like loading. That's exactly how I feel when I wake up in the morning. It's about 6 o'clock, and there's a loading screen between realizing that this is happening again and whether or not you can get out of the way. It's like everyone else always telling you, it's like, get a better job, change careers, start over, find something that makes you happy. Really? I'm going to find something that makes me happy that pays $15 an hour and requires a college degree, like being a school teacher? Are these people just not living in reality, or do they just not understand that being poor sucks? Or a lot of these people have never really had to suffer. And that's the misunderstanding of people who've never had to suffer. You look at the policymakers and the people who are holding the economy hostage, they've never understood what it's like to truly suffer, to come home and have nothing to eat, to wonder why you can't pay your rent because there's only $7.25 in your bank account. This afternoon, when I swiped one of my credit cards, it said not authorized. I think that means declined, right? I keep making the payments, but when you're just making the minimum payment, you're not paying off that balance. So, like life, not authorized to access anything good. You're allowed to sit at home and twiddle your thumbs and look around and wonder, how did this happen? How is there no way out? Why is it that every time I try to climb out, the ladder is a painted on symbol on the side of your wage gauge? It's not real. There is no actual ladder to let ordinary working class people thrive. In fact, the more you're in survival mode, the more money goes up to the top. Remember, record profits, record poverty. Do you know where record profits come? From taking the money out of poor people's hands. Because when poor people are giving you everything they have because they don't have anything else, well, the money flows upwards, and if it's that trickle down economics where we're still waiting on, it's getting pretty salty down here. Talking point number three: they say life's what you make it. Cool. I made debt, anxiety, a personality built entirely out of coping. Achievement unlocked, pretending you're okay. Here comes that toxic positivity that the pros have to fill their brains with. And you know what toxic positivity pairs great with? If I had to think of one thing that toxic positivity, it's like peanut butter and jelly with, it's music. For some reason, pros can do just about anything as long as there's a catchy tune in the background. I watch the people at McDonald's every day try to escape into music. Music is the only thing that they can afford, well, at least at this point, that gives them any imagined joy, because it's not real. Let's face it, it's just noise. I consider all music just to be noise. The only reason I play music in my car is to cover up the engine noises, because God only knows what's going on inside the Promobile's engine. So again, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Regardless of what's going on in the pro's life, you cover it up with music and it's fine for another day, another hour, maybe even another second. When pros get down, they dance. Think of the movie The Matrix, where they're having their rave and everything's okay as long as they're drunk, they're dancing, and Susie Rottencrotch, they get a glimpse of Susie Rottencrotch. They don't actually get to touch Susie Rottencrotch, but Johnny Sixpack gets enough to be able to shake hands with the governor later. And that's life. And there is no way to turn down the depression, turn down the poverty, turn up the health bar, because we know that health bar is sitting at about 1 or 2 pellets. If this was a Zelda game, you would be on 1 heart right now out of 5. And you're supposed to pretend it's okay. It doesn't hurt. You know, things will get better. And yet you look around at your neighbors who are doing badly, your coworkers who are starving. You walk in on a person who's eating a brick of ramen and you wonder, holy crap, is this for real? Yes, I've seen that not only at my current McDonald's, but I've seen that in break rooms across all of the crummy jobs that I've ever had where people bring what they can afford. If what you can afford to eat for your lunch is a 25-cent brick of ramen that you can't even afford to heat up in the company microwave, things are looking pretty ominous out there for the solo man. And I mean, even the solo woman. And I must have seen, where was I? I think I was at Petco, and I saw at least a half a dozen women over the different pet stores that I went to looking for this part. All lonely cat women. And you're just kind of like, yeah, it's just you and the cat, isn't it? Why? Because, like most people, you don't want to settle for less. I would much rather be alone than settle for less. And that's exactly where we're at with every aspect of our lives, from eating to relationships to our housing to your very pro-mobile. Settling for less is what we have to do. Because if you want more, it's not like you can just say, you know what, I'm done with this. I don't want to work at McDonald's anymore. I want to work wherever they pay me enough so that I can have a mansion and a fancy car and a super hot girlfriend that also has money. That just ain't gonna happen. You can't unlock that level in the video game of life. That's on a paywall, right? And you're playing the base game. You want all those things? Well, guess what? You have to either earn it or take it, or I don't know, just be lucky, I guess. Hope for some sort of money glitch. But for the rest of us, it ain't happening. All right. This game doesn't end with a victory screen. Just another shift, another rent payment, another quiet panic at 2 a.m. You don't get to pause. There's no restart, and the only bonus level is called Your Coworkers GoFundMe. But hey, if you made it this far in single player mode, you're not weak. You're a glitch in the system they never planned for. It's like, again, coming back to the Matrix. At the end of it, you find out that there's a constant reset. Eventually, society gets to a point where it has to reset and it starts all over and all over and all over again. And I imagine that humanity has had many resets that just can't be documented because there isn't historical evidence. I mean, we keep digging up things that don't match our timelines, but that's just the way things are. We will never exactly know what happened 2,000 years ago because we weren't there. Once we invent time machines and we go back and look, I think we're going to be, I think, pleasantly surprised by how normal people were 5,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, even 50,000 years ago. Because things get hard for people regardless. It's either famine or feast until you're all wiped out. And I think right now we're in a natural disaster that's going to wipe out poor people, and it's intentional. The system has to get rid of the things it doesn't want. We've already made poverty and homelessness nearly invisible. I've noticed since the end of the bug, right around, what was it, 2021, is that people have become more callous towards people who don't have a place to sleep and don't have food. And right now, you're not capable. No matter if you went to school, you didn't go to school, that job you need. It's not even the job you want, because life is based on the things that you want and the things that you need. And right now, you need a job that's paying you $150,000 a year just so that you're not eating whatever it is that you're eating. If you're eating ice soup, or you're just eating whatever you can find, or licking rocks, just licking the slime off rocks out there, I understand. I mean, we all get to look at these mini sized paychecks every week, and you wonder, it's like, well, you paid me this, but I actually need this to live. How am I supposed to make that up? Facts, you don't. You just scrape by for another day and hope that tomorrow doesn't hurt as bad. And that the end of your video game screen isn't that metaphorical peach with the ketchup coming out of it. All right, guys, I've got to drink something and feel better now. I I gotta drink Grandpa's cough syrup and figure out what I'm gonna do tomorrow.